The air inside the Führerbunker is thick, sour with damp concrete and cold metal. It smells like old paper, unwashed wool, and the faint, acrid sting of burned cigarettes. A single light bulb flickers overhead, trembling as if it too senses what is about to arrive. Somewhere above, Berlin breathes in uneasy sleep. Somewhere far away, a different coast is burning alive. Adolf Hitler stands unnaturally still over a map of France. The lines are sharp. The pins glint like small indifferent stars. His fingers pale, trembling, hover above the beaches marked in red. Normandy, Utah, Omaha, names that flicker across his mind like a rising fever. A clock ticks. 1 second. Another. In the silence, the Reich still exists. Then the door opens. Boots echo once, twice, 3 times, urgent, unsteady. A young officer stands rigid, a bead of sweat sliding slowly down the side of his face. He swallows before speaking, as though the words themselves are poison. My Führer, his voice is barely there. The invasion has begun. The bulb above flickers harder. Hitler does not move at first. The air feels heavier, as if gravity itself has shifted. Somewhere inside him a quiet crack appears, thin, hairline but unmistakable. His hand curls into a fist. Fingernails bite flesh. How many? He whispers. Reports indicate 156,000 Allied troops are ashore. Airborne divisions, paratroopers, the beaches. The words blur together. He no longer hears the officer. All he sees is water churning into foam beneath iron hulls, boots slamming into wet sand, men pouring forward like an unstoppable tide. In his mind, he hears the roar of the Atlantic swallowing his dreams. They were not supposed to get through. He murmurs to no one, to himself, to the ghosts of every promise he ever made. Outside the bunker, Berlin remains dark and ignorant. Inside, history quietly breaks in half. The first reports arrive in broken pieces, like bodies dragged ashore by a restless sea. Telephone lines hiss and crackle. Voices overlap. Coordinates are misread. Unit names dissolve into static. Someone is shouting in the background, not ordered shouting, not disciplined shouting, but the raw, animal sound of men realizing the sky itself has turned against them. Hitler grips the edge of the table now. The map beneath his hands is damp where sweat falls from his palms. His eyes chase the coastline again and again, as if staring long enough might erase it, might pull the waves backward, might unwrite the morning. Impossible, he says. Outside, early summer sun still hasn't climbed far enough to touch the streets of Berlin, but in his mind, the beaches are already blinding white with gunfire. He imagines the Allied soldiers scraping through sand, uniforms soaked, rifles heavy, hearts hammering like wild drums. He imagines their fear. He clings to it. They will be crushed, he insists, but the words lack their usual certainty. The Atlantic wall will swallow them. Our divisions will drive them back into the sea. Yet doubt moves in slow and quiet, settling into the corners of the room like creeping mold. A second officer enters, then a third. More numbers, more beaches, more landings. Gold Beach, Juno, Sword. Each name drops into the air with a dull, fatal weight. In distant Normandy fields, cows scatter. Birds burst into flight. Hedges shiver under shell fire. The earth itself wakes up screaming. Inside the Führerbunker, silence forks and splits. Generals exchange glances they hope he does not notice. No one speaks of failure directly. It is still too sacred a word to touch. But it drips from their faces, from their stiff posture, from the way their eyes refuse to rise. Hitler stares at the map as though it is a traitor staring back. And far away, on a gray, blood-stained shore, the first Allied boots step into history. The tide does not retreat. Minutes stretch into something unrecognizable. Time loses its edges. A radio on the far wall murmurs in a low, uneven hum, as if whispering secrets meant only for the dead. Every new report carries the same quiet horror. The Allied line is not breaking. It is widening, thickening, becoming something permanent along the coast of France. Hitler's lips pale, his eyes once burning with proclamation and fire, now seem distant, fixed on a world that is slipping beyond his reach. The pins in the map no longer look ordered. They look like wounds. Where are the panzer divisions? He snaps, sudden and sharp, the words slicing the air. They are awaiting authorization, my Führer. A pause. A delicate pause. Your order. A heartbeat. Then another. A moment in which the world could pivot. He knows it. They know it. His hand lifts slightly, trembles, then falls back to the table. Something inside him recoils. He has built an empire on certainty, and now certainty refuses to answer him. They will wait, he mutters, eyes unfocused. It is a diversion. The true invasion will come at Pas de Calais. But even as he speaks it, the words sound hollow, carried away by invisible wind. In Normandy, Allied soldiers crouch behind mangled steel and broken bodies. They press helmets to sand and whisper prayers into earth that does not recognize their language. The beaches, once quiet and ordinary, now pulse with life and death in equal measure. Back in Berlin, sweat rolls slowly down Hitler's temple. His jaw tightens. He can taste metal on his tongue. He grips a pencil and presses so hard it snaps in half. They are not supposed to be there. He whispers again, softer now, almost pleading. No one answers. Outside the bunker, birds still sing. A tram bell rings somewhere far away. Ordinary life continues, unaware that a door has been opened that can never be closed again. And on the beaches of Normandy, reality has arrived. Hours crawl forward, dragging their heavy bodies across the bunker floor. The reports no longer come in fragments. They come in waves. The Allies have secured positions. Engineers are clearing obstacles. Medical tents rise where machine guns once ruled. Fresh troops continue to land. Row after row, boat after boat, as if the ocean itself has chosen a side. Hitler sits now, no longer standing over the map, but hunched, smaller somehow. A glass of water rests untouched beside his hand. The surface trembles faintly from distant artillery, or perhaps from the unsteady pulse that trembles in his own wrist. They are building a world on our shoreline, he murmurs. A general speaks cautiously. My Führer, their supply lines are strong. They are unloading tanks. Vehicles, food, radios. Food. The word strikes strangely. For a brief flickering moment, he imagines Allied soldiers biting into bread that is still soft. He imagines cigarettes being passed from hand to hand, chocolate bars unwrapped. The simple luxury of abundance spread across a foreign beach. A world that continues. A world that feeds its men. And in the east, in the cities of Germany, people count potatoes like treasure. Children fall asleep to the sound of their own hunger. Women scrape the last remnants from cracked pots. The contrast coils in the air, unseen but suffocating. Another message arrives. French civilians emerging from hiding, whispering, watching the collapse. A young messenger stands near the doorway, clutching a folder so tightly his knuckles have blanched white. His eyes are wide, reflecting something between fear and awe. They are calling it... He hesitates. The beginning of the end. The phrase echoes. The beginning of the end. Hitler closes his eyes. For the first time, he does not deny it. For the first time, he permits the words to exist, even if only in the darkness behind his eyelids. Outside, the day grows brighter. Inside, the shadows spread, and the tide along Normandy's coast continues to rise, carrying with it the slow, unstoppable weight of history. Night settles over Berlin like a heavy cloth soaked in rain. In the bunker, lamps glow dim and yellow, casting long, distorted shadows across the concrete walls. They stretch and twist, as if the room itself is trying to flee from what it contains. The air has grown warmer, stale with unspoken fear and fading authority. A new stack of reports lies on the table. Hitler does not open them right away. He already knows. The Allied beachhead has expanded. Reinforcements pour in without pause. The sky belongs to foreign planes. The sea answers to foreign flags. His Atlantic wall, once built in defiance, now resembles a broken spine scattered along the coast. He walks slowly to the far wall, fingers brushing against cold stone. It bites gently into his skin, grounding him in something real. How did this happen? He whispers. From his pocket, he removes a small, worn notebook. Its pages are filled with sharp, hurried lines, fragments of his own thoughts written in moments of restless insomnia. He flips it open. Victory is not chosen by the gods. It is seized by the will of men. The sentence now looks childish, delusional. He closes the book. A quiet knock comes at the door. An attendant enters carrying a simple tray, tea gone cold, a piece of bread left uneaten. The scent of it, faint and ordinary, suddenly feels unbearable. On those beaches the enemy eats, the enemy rests. The enemy digs itself deeper into the land that was meant to remain his. He does not touch the food. He only stares at it. In that simple act of refusal, something inside him finally fractures. Because deep down beyond pride and command, he knows a truth he never imagined he would face. The world is moving forward, and it is leaving him behind. Morning comes without ceremony. No trumpets, no hopeful signals. Only a pale light filtering through unseen windows above, seeping down into the bunker like a reluctant witness. Hitler sits alone now. The table has been cleared. The map is rolled away, as if hiding it could hide the truth. In its place rests only silence. Outside, somewhere beyond the thick concrete and soil, the world has shifted its weight. Trains will still run. Children will still wake. Soldiers will still breathe. But the direction of history has turned. The secretary enters softly, almost apologetically, holding the final summary of the night's events. She sets it down and steps back, eyes lowered. He does not open it. He already knows what it contains. Instead, he stares at his hands. At their age, at their trembling, at the ink stains of a lifetime spent signing orders that sent others to die, these hands once reached eagerly for greatness. Now they rest, empty. They will write about this day, he murmurs. Not as Führer, not as commander, but as a man watching his legend dissolve. They will say it was the moment the world exhaled. No one answers. There's nothing left to answer with. Somewhere beyond the rubble and wire and shattered certainty, Allied soldiers sit on a battered shoreline, sharing cigarettes, sharing silence, sharing the unspoken knowledge that they have changed the course of everything. And in a buried room beneath a defeated city, Adolf Hitler finally understands. Power is not eternal. Truth cannot be bombed into submission, and history will always find its way back to the light. The clock still ticks, but it no longer belongs to him.